Hello, I'm Gemma, a UX UI designer, and today we're going to talk about... Wait, something's wrong. That's better. Hello, I'm Gemma, a UX UI designer based here in the lovely city of Cardiff in South Wales, and today we're going to talk about the strangest questions I've ever received in an interview. So, if you apply for a new job and you're all ready, portfolio in hand, ready to kick ass at this next interview, and you sit down, you have your greetings, you say hello to everyone, you run through your portfolio, you run through all things to do about you, and then next minute somebody asks you a particularly weird question that you were never prepared for. The reasons around this is to catch you off guard, see how creative you are, but all in all, just to see how uncomfortable you can get during an interview. And sometimes it can get a little uncomfortable, but that's if you're not prepared. So if you know some of these curveball questions, let me know in the comments below, because that'd be super fun. Why not give me some of your crazy interview questions that you've received when you've been applying for jobs. But here's a few that I've experienced during my time applying for UX UI jobs. So I wouldn't really say this is a weird question, but this is one that I get quite a lot, and it's the, where do you want to be in 10 years time? Now that's a difficult one to answer, because are they asking you whether you still want to work for this company in 10 years time? Are they looking to see if you want to progress in your career in 10 years time? And this is a really difficult one to answer, but I like to put a curveball on this. It's like, who knows? So I tend to say that in 10 years time, I would like to be senior in my career. I'd like to be managing my own team. I would like to be doing things which will benefit me. Another one, which I hear quite a lot, is, what are your weaknesses? Now this one can be really difficult to answer, but it's also a really good one to answer, because throughout the whole interview, you've probably just been playing towards your strengths and what kind of things you're really good at. But to be a really, really good designer, you have to understand your weaknesses. And my weaknesses is spelling. I'm terrible at spelling. I cannot spell to save my life, and that's the honest truth. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably see some spelling mistakes in my work. So it's just life. It's a part of life, and it's a part of who I am as a person. I'm dyslexic, and that's a big thing which is part of me, and it's just who I am. And so what if I can't spell? It's just a fact of life. So don't be scared to talk about your weaknesses, and talk about the fact that you recognize that you do have some weaknesses, and then talk about how you overcome those weaknesses. Like for me, I can't spell. I know I have to interact with clients on a day-to-day basis. I have to send emails to people. I have to be able to communicate my ideas to people. And to do that, I just use something simple, which is Grammarly. I just install this plugin and it helps. That's just a part of life. That's just things. I get a lot of things proofread by my colleagues. They will come and check my work, read my wireframes, read my designs. They will literally check everything I do. And that's absolutely fine, because it's a weakness of mine, and that's just the fact of life. So this is a really funny one. If there was a movie produced about your life, who would play the role of you? Now, I don't know. And I think that's a fair answer to give. I don't know. Why would there be a movie produced about my life? What type of question is that? And again, it's to throw you off. Because throughout this whole thing, you're probably plain sailing. You probably give them every answer which you could possibly give under the sun. You probably give them top marks, and now they're literally trying to find something in you to be like, you can't be this perfect. So how would you even answer that? And the way I go around that is like, just literally just pick an actress out of your head and say they would play this. Why? Because of this. Like, does it really matter? It is literally just to see how you would react in a situation where something is completely thrown at you, and just see if you can answer it. And this is a really good tactic, because this happens with clients all the time. Sometimes a client will ask you a question, you genuinely don't know the answer, because you'd have to get that answer from someone else. So you kind of just make up something, just give them a slight little answer without giving them an answer. And this is the perfect situation in order to do this. So who would be the actor or the actress. For me, I don't know, try and think of a blonde actress. Again, see, my mind's going blank. This is such a terrible question. Who would play me? Personally, I'd probably say something really weird like Uma Thurman, who's just a kick-ass actress. And I would just say, just because of that, just because she's just amazing at what she does. That kind of looks like I'm tooting my own horn. I'm not tooting my own horn, but this is like the type of stuff that you need to say because it's just a crazy situation to be in, right? Now this one I've had quite a lot, and it's kind of borderline. Are you allowed to ask this question for someone, or and the question is, how emotional are you? Now personally, I'm a very emotional person, and that's kind of good because I'm intact with my emotions. And the way I tend to spin this question is that I take on the emotions of the users. I can understand their frustrations. I can understand why they're feeling the way they feel. Because me, in turn, I'm an emotional person. I take on a lot of feelings from people. I understand feelings and I'm really in tune with my own feelings. I see these quite a lot, and these tend to be on pre-applications before you submit and apply for the job. Again, these are just questions just to see what type of individual you are and how creative you can be. I just see this a lot at tech companies. If you're applying for a tech company, then this is the type of questions that you may be faced with. Now, that's not necessarily to say that you will be faced with this type of question, but you may be faced with this type of question. If you had a superpower, what would it be? Now, personally, I would like to teleport. Because I like to travel across the world, and I would genuinely like just to be able to click my fingers and be elsewhere. But that's just me personally. From a company, would that be a good answer? Probably not, because they're probably looking for something a bit more in tune to do with them. So this one can be really difficult to answer, and I think one of my answers for this question was that one of my superpowers is to be able to see things in advance. And this is where I've been working on projects previously. I am able to put all the pieces together before we actually have all the pieces, because for some reason I can be able to pick up on certain things and then see the full overall picture before anyone else tends to see the overall picture. Now, that's just a personal thing that I've been able to do throughout my career. I don't know if it's a global thing that like designers can do, but that's just personally me, and that's something to do with me. So find that key little thing which is to do with you. And that could be people skills. Maybe you have an amazing ability to sit down with people and get answers out of people. Like, that's an amazing skill. They're looking for bits and bobs to do with that, not the fact that you'd like to fly to San Francisco with a click of a finger. Even though, to be honest, that's pretty cool, right? I think so anyways. The final question, save the best for last, because this one was a total curveball for myself, and it's the first time I've ever experienced something like this, and I will admit I was completely caught off guard, because it was just like, why are you asking me this type of question? Like, what do you gain from this? I have no idea what you're looking for in this. And what? The question was, if you were a biscuit, what biscuit would you be? And I just went completely blank. I didn't have it. I was like, what? What are you trying to gauge from this? I just don't understand where you're coming from. Like, what could you possibly be asking me this question, and why? So I kind of talked a little bit. I don't actually know what I talked about. I was just talking. And in my head, I was like, think of a biscuit, think of a biscuit, think of a biscuit. And after kind of talking my way around this, the biscuit that came to mind was a Jammie Dodger. Now, I don't know if these biscuits are known throughout the world. They're definitely known in the UK, and to be honest, I would say they're probably my favourite biscuit. Like, they're just perfection. But then they asked me, why? Why do you think you'd be a Jammie Dodger? Because Jammie Dodger kind of seems a bit negative, right? Like, dodge my way out of things. No. So I don't know if you've seen a Jammie Dodger. Oh, this is a Jammie Dodger. This is exactly what they look like. There's a little heart in their centre. And as cheesy as it sounds, my answer was, my heart is at the centre of everything that I do. And I know that's complete cheese, but they 100% bought it. Like that, they're like, oh, that's the best answer we've had so far. And it was literally just plucked out the air. Wasn't prepared for. I had no idea why they'd asked me this question. They did ask me this question, and it was up to me to answer it. I hope these questions, or me blabbling about these questions, gives you a little bit more insight before you have an interview or during the interview, and to be sure that you're prepared for these curveball types of questions, because they may come, they may not come. They may come up with something completely different, or it may just be a normal interview where you shake the hand, you go, hi, how are you? You talk about your portfolio, you talk about your best work, and then you talk about how you can benefit the company. That's great. But just be prepared, because sometimes this can happen. And that's just a part of life. So if you enjoyed this type of content, why don't you like and subscribe? I'm going to try and do a video like this every week. So if you want to stick around, buttons down there somewhere, like and subscribe. I also have an Instagram where I talk about things like accessibility. I do mini tutorials on Sketch, which is my preferred software. And it's a nice little community, so when you come over and say hi, you can follow me at Heli-er Studio, and yeah, if you like, stick around. See you on the next one. Bye.